Today on A Commonly Good MTG, we're playing Red 66, which number one is a mono red deck, meaning it's made up entirely of red cards, and 66 because it's got a 66% win rate over at the Aether Hub. If you're looking for a mono red aggro deck that has nary a mouse in sight, then this might just be the deck for you. If this sounds interesting, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, and make sure to check out my more artistic videos over at onlyfans.com. Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Film before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by the MTGA-Assistant-Meta, called Mono Red with a 66% win rate. Mono Red. Yeah, so I've been seeing this around the last couple of days, maybe 3 days, and I'm sure you might have seen it too, but I said, yeah, today I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it. And it's all about this Cori-Steel Cutter right there. That seems to be the beating heart of this particular deck. And it's all about playing whatever it is, two spells in each turn to activate its ability. And that's it. That's how we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards in this deck. We're going to talk a little about how it should work. And then we're going to go out and we're going to crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got here today? Like I said, it's all about the Cori-Steel Cutter. Let's talk about it. So 2 mana gets out. And it's an equipment. It only costs 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and haste. Great. That's fantastic. You can put it on new dudes, whatever, right? But it's got flurry. So it's not like the Dairy Queen treat, which is like a milkshake with a really thick milkshake. But whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you create a 1/1 white monk creature that has prowess. And you can automatically attach this equipment to it. So that makes the guy into a 2/2 with trample and haste. Great. That is fantastic, right? But then you could just keep making them turn after turn after turn by casting 2 spells each turn. That's all you should really do. Well, how are we going to do that? With a bunch of cheap spells. And look at that. That's how I have so many 1 mana cutter spells. And so we can activate this guy's ability. So we can put out a new dude every turn, and that dude has trample and haste and is a little beefy. All right, so let's just see how we're going to do with that. Boltwave does 3 points of damage to the opponent. This does 2 points of damage to any target, potentially 4 if you can scrounge up 5 mana. This guy goes out for 1. If he's pumped, when he dies, he deals his power to any target. So you want to do things like put Wild Ride on him, which will pump him up by 3. So he could potentially become a 4 or a 7, something like that. At which point he does 7 points of damage. You can then immediately kill him and then do another 7 points of damage. This guy is a landmine. He's ready to just do some damage. This guy comes racing out every turn. He's just a hasty 2/2, but he always pops back to your hand. You can cast him multiple times, which means you always got something good to cast up to 2 per turn if you got this guy hanging around. Plus, if you got extra mana, which this is not a big mana deck, you could pump him, but whatevs. He's just good for the casting ability, right? This guy does a point of damage every time that a lizard attacks. Whenever you attack with 1 or more lizard, he does a point of damage. If you get a second one out there, even if he's got summoning sickness, he can still do the damage if you attack with the other lizard. Wild Ride does 3 points, or +3/+0, and it gains haste until the end of turn. Harmonize is weird and expensive. This is not a great card in my opinion. All right, we got this guy who's got trample and prowess as a 2/2. For relatively cheap, you can pop him into his Super Saiyan ability, make him into a trample, ward 2, double prowessy 3/3, which is fantastic. Especially with all of the cheap stuff you got going on. You can pump this guy like nuts. And he'll have trample. I've got Howlsquad Heavy. That's my addition just because I didn't have a second Tersa or Tersa. So anyways, this guy comes out, puts out a goblin each turn, and it attacks. It's got haste. So whatevs, man. It's a great way of just having some nice hasty dudes doing some stuff. This one comes out with haste. It comes out as a 3/3. If they kill it, then it deals. What does it do? It does damage. However much damage is dealt to it is how much damage it deals to any other target. If you do it to an opponent, they can never gain life for the rest of the turn. So this nips life gain in the bud. That's what you want to do. Sometimes it's even good to kill your own Screaming Nemesis just to cut those life gains out. And then Tersa has got haste as a 3/3 and will help draw you cards. Also, if you got 7 more cards in your graveyard, you can exile a card at random from your graveyard, and you can choose to play it this turn. Oh, random. That is craziness. 22 Mountains rounds this thing up. Nothing special about them. So what are we going to do? We're going to get out our little hasty guys. We're going to be attacking and pumping like crazy, using these guys to pump dudes up, to get out prowessy dudes as much as possible. The more of these Cori-Steel Cutters we have out, the better it's going to be, because that means more dudes will be able to produce from these little tiny spells we'll be casting otherwise. And then we just win. It's aggro, it's fast, and it's super brutal. And before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sholdred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. I have been against Sharkdanger. That's a good name. That's a good name. 3 mana. And these guys are snowboarding. Is that the deal? Hey, look, it's pew pew pew. Welcome back, my friend. Pew pew pew. All right, number 2, let's get out the Cori-Steel. There are things to be done. It's got prowess as well. That's insane. You're really going to sacrifice it. I guess you won't do it unless you think you need to. You can sacrifice it now. Nope. We're just going to sit there and kill all of each other's guys. That's what we're going to do. I think I cast my 2 things per turn. Oh, I guess that guy survived. That is a problem. Well, I could try to shoot him next time. Here's one. Shoot. Yeah, sure, pass him along. There we go. All right, right in the face. We'll save Wild Ride next turn. Hopefully we'll cast 2 spells on the next turn. Get some big bumps out of it. He doesn't like that guy. All right, number 1. Number 2, let's pass this guy around. All right, everybody, let's see what can we do here. Can I do it again? Let's do it again. Oh, I have to pay a lot. I gotta pay 5 mana to do more than that? Fine, whatever. That was a weird choice on your part, man. All right, he's down to 4. He's got nothing out. He's looking. That's only, it's scry 1, draw a card. It's a guy. This is ridiculous. All right, come on. Just everybody in. Everybody in the pool. I make him a little beefier. That's fine. He's got 2 cards. He's got 1 card to try to make it. That's it. All I got to do is sneak through here, huh? And we win. I can win one way or the other. Victory! All right, we're playing against Pedro. 2 mana. Need a 3rd. Hopefully we'll pull a 3rd mana at some point. Keep. Nope. I saw that mouse. He was on the toilet. He's on the toilet. Shush it. Life gain against mono red. That is not great. Hopefully we can get the Screaming Nemesis out. We need to get that 3rd mana from someplace. That's our only recourse. Alright, 2. Another Hired Claw. Cacophony Scamp. And in for 1. And 2. And 3. Nice. Well, it's nice to see them working together like that. Didn't get our 3rd mana. That is not great. Sure. Let's just give it a pound. 2 shots straight off the bat. Down to 9. And decline. I'll ride that guy before I decide to throw him at somebody. Hopefully pick up a 3rd mana. We really need it badly. Dang, that is a lot of chumps is the problem. Let's try that again. Number 1. Yep, that was fine. It happened quicker than I could see it happen. Down to 2. So let's wild ride it on a Cacophony Scamp. All in. We have to give up on that particular Scamp. All right, who you blocking, hippie? There you go. That's the guy you're blocking. Oh, and we win. Take action. Yeah. And we win! Well, that whole proliferate thing was weird. Victory! Alright, we are playing against Jack Hack. Jack Hack. Jack Hack. Keep. So yeah, I played this deck once where I couldn't get to 3 mana. Now I'm super paranoid about not having at least 3 mana. Having 4 in an aggro deck, that is rough. Ooh, now 5 mana. This deck's just trying to smoke me, is what it's trying to do right now. I don't have enough cards to activate the cutter there. We got to do this like a sucker. 1, 2. Minor Twin Powers, activate! Oh, I just wasted all of those cards to make that happen. That was ridiculous. Now I'm out of stuff to do. All right. This is what happens when this deck provides too much mana in a 22 mana deck. Talk about being wobbly. Okay, so I need 3. I can do that next turn. I can activate him in each ways. What does he do? He does lots of great stuff. All right, next turn. Whatever, man. I don't need blue here, suckerfish. Let's pop you out. Ow! Alright, down to 5. We could blow this guy for 1, provided we can't pump him. And we win! And we win, because we had 6 showing there. Victory! Alright, up and against Deezus. Jesus Christ. Alright, looks like Effigy is our way to go. I can eat that guy's soul. Let's just put it this way. If Effigy and that guy get into a fight, Effigy's not the one that's losing. Hit him! Alright, so next turn we're doing a whole lot of nothing. Just Cori-Steel Cutter. Like, what is it doing? Is it cutting paper? He unlocked the door. All right, man. Surveil 2 and pass your turn, yo. Or come at me, whatever you want to do, but stop wasting time. I'll touch your dragon statue like it's nobody's business. Not enough to kill it, so we'll go ahead and cutter it. See, the thing about this deck is that we really need for him to, like, stay out of my way. That is a big deal here. We got 3 mana. What can we do about this? Effigy. Shoot this guy. Welcome. And in your face. Oh, I should have done something else. I can wait till next turn. It's cool. There's just a lot of things I could do. I didn't necessarily need to wait. All right, he's down to 14. We are getting somewhere faster than him, and that's good. As long as we're riding the wave more than he is, we'll be better off. He's trying to hold it up together, isn't he? All right. What are we doing here? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Let's put it on this guy. All right, so we got one guy that's going to die. Does it cost us 5 mana to activate? All right, he's down to 11. He's lost one of his. Hard to believe that guy was the hammer. We can activate this guy. Gonna manifest. All right, come at me, brah. Maybe I don't want to. Haste, huh? We got an additional 1 here. We could pop. That guy will pop up by 1. Everything is on the low side. Let's slow this down. Everybody's strong. There we go. That's all good. All in. If you want to lose some dudes, go ahead and throw yourself in front. Otherwise, you're going to die. So you got to start blocking. And we win! Keep you guys alive. That's the way it goes. Victory! All right, up and against SantoS, capital S. Spell it backwards. It's SantoS. SantoS. 2 mana. All right. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about this deck is when I can't get more than 2 mana. That kind of sucks. No. Kitty. Hard Claw. Good. We got the 3rd mana. Perfect. And this guy, I'd like to get the 4th mana. Oh, no. I only need 3. That's all I need for that guy. Maybe that's the next turn thing. Let's do it. And here we go. Suck it. There you go. First blood. Technically, I could pop this guy on the next turn. I don't want to touch him because I don't want him to know that I have great plans for him. It's funny, if you touch things, like if I touch his lands, he'll start getting all weird like I'm going to do something with his lands. Ooh, look at me. I'm going to kill this thing. Come on, don't touch my Anubis. Oh, you're the devil. All right, I got a single guy. Let's just throw out... let's do a Scamp. We'll go for the effigy. Sure, let's do it. All right, we're all ready just to lay down for the... art of the, whatever, sorceries, I guess. We got guys out. I'll just chill. Oh, I should have put the effigy out. What am I thinking? Oh, that was ridiculous. Decline, decline. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I should have got that extra 2 points in, is what I should have done. Sometimes I click faster than I give myself time. All right, number 1 is going to be this guy. He's got first strike, which is really bad. Number 2, there's a second guy. Let's go for a full meal deal. There we go. Pop, a pop, a pop. All right, all in. I think we can do it. No math. Because we got at least 4 right there. Yeah, there we go. He's dead. Yoink. Pow, pow, pow. Boom, boom. Goes the room. Victory. I have played against AO. AIO, something like that. 2 mana, man. I can tell you this deck loves to just top out at 2 mana. And if I don't get 3 in my opening hand, I get a little nervous. There's a lot of things we could do for 2 mana, so we're going to try it out. No, kitty. I think we're mirror matching here. It's very possible. All right, if you want to kill Howlsquad Claw, I might just go for it. It looks like I'm not going to have that option. All right, 3rd mana. Now we didn't get it. Still looking for a 3rd mana. I need it badly. Come on, mana number 3. Mana number 3. And we got it. Good. Screaming Nemesis. All right, next turn we can start doing kooky things. I'd like to be able to shoot our pal up there. He's got a lot of the slick shots there. All right, well, we'll do 2 and 2 across the board is what we'll do. 1. 2. That'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's wild ride our pal. Nah, let's put Cacophony Scamp out. That's right, because I can blow him up a wild ride. All right, he's down to 12. You can pump this guy up to 7. That's going to be massive. You have to attack. If you don't, you got a problem, man. No blocks, everything's fine. All right, here's time for me to win. Oh, what you really need to do is blow up the Cacophony Scamp. That's what you need to do. That's my entire plan. All right, number 1. Number 2. That's how you lose the game right there, baby. And we win! Suck it, suckerfish! Suck it! All right, so we are with Red 66. Red 66, yeah, it was a great little mono red aggro deck. I thought it was fantastic. You know, it's interesting is that, yeah, I didn't have enough Tersa, so I ended up having to put Howlsquad Heavy instead. Yeah, it was a great swap out. It did great stuff. Like, what does this thing even do? Discard 2 cards. When it attacks, if there are 7 more cards, exile a card at random from your graveyard. You may play that card. All right, so there's some recursion or something there. That's cool. But yeah, Howlsquad Heavy also good because it was able to at least put out 1 goblin per turn. That was cool. And yeah, Howlsquad Heavy is a good change. I mean, because yeah, I'm looking for stuff with haste. That was what was important. And this guy does not have haste. The problem is he does put out a goblin. Other goblins you control have haste. And as being in combat, you put out a 1/1 red goblin token. So he's got haste. He's just a 1/1 for 3, but he's a baby maker. He's putting it out. I mean, possibly like the what is it? My other baby maker, the sheer something or other goblin. Yeah, she puts out a baby if you attack. This guy, and he does it. She does it at the end of the turn. This guy does it at the beginning of combat. So this guy's a little bit faster on doing it. You're going to get it straight up at the turning of the turn. The other one, maybe it's a little cheaper. I'm not sure it's super important. I thought he was a good swap in for this particular deck. All right, so let's get down to it, though. Who was the MVP? Who was the most valuable player of this deck? It was the Cori-Steel Cutter. That is the MVP of this deck because that's what you're trying to do, apparently. I mean, the fact that this guy keeps putting out monks all the time that all have prowess, and then this thing slaps haste and trample on them as well as giving them +1/+1. There's so much value in here. Plus, you're trying to play all these cheap cards to activate the Cori-Steel Cutter constantly. And that's really what this deck was all about, was making the Cori-Steel Cutter do what the Cori-Steel Cutter does. So yeah, this was the center of this particular, the beating engine, and by far the MVP of this particular deck. The card that I probably hated the most was, God, where is it? Wild Ride. Wild Ride was the one I disliked the most. I mean, giving a guy +3 and haste, and it's had Harmonize, but it was a sorcery, and Harmonize just didn't seem to work. It was way too expensive. You had to have some other guy to tap to give it to some other guy if you wanted to use it. I never had very many dudes out there getting killed constantly. I thought this card was too slow and too awkward to play multiple times. And plus, as a sorcery, I couldn't play it like a trick. I'd find something else other than Wild Ride to play. But it was new. It was worth playing just to see what it was like. But I found it very awkward to play with. So I am not a Wild Ride fan. But it worked okay. So I'm going to say Wild Ride is my least favorite card, while Cori-Steel Cutter would be my most favorite card. So MVP, you are the Cori-Steel Cutter for this particular deck. Congratulations, weird-looking monk dude. You are going to Disneyland. All right, let's see. So was this deck competitive? I mean, on Aether Hub, it says it was a 66% win rate deck. What did I end up getting with this deck? I ended up picking up a 66% win rate. So yeah, this is a competitive deck. It did fine on the ladder. It did fine in casual. You lose, but you win more. The interesting thing is a lot of times that I lost, it was because I couldn't get more than 2 mana. And believe it or not, you really need Screaming Nemesis a lot because you're playing against life gain. This is the guy that nips that stuff in the bud. Howlsquad Heavy. There's not that many of these cards, but sometimes this is all I was holding on to in my hand. And I couldn't, everything else was gone, and I couldn't pick up a 3rd mana. So watch out. This deck, if it gives you 2 mana, don't trust it. Right off the bat, you want that 3rd mana. You think, I could pick up a 3rd mana, and by the 3rd turn, it shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes it took a long time or never came at all. There's no reason for it. That's just MTGA just being out for you. The shuffler or just hates you sometimes. Whatevs, man. Whatevs. All right, but anyways, it is a competitive deck. Number 2, was this deck fun? Yes, look at that. It's number 1. It's number 1. Yeah, this deck was so fun because everything was so cheap. You're able to play things multiply. The cutter worked great. The rest of it was all fantastic. So yeah, it was a fun deck because it was very aggro and you were just slamming things down. There's some things that it's like there's opponents that does damage to opponent, that does damage to opponent. This guy does damage to opponent. I guess that's what you really want is damage to opponent. And this deck did do that. I was going to rip on it saying you need to focus more on damaging your opponent. Nah, that was fine. The big deal is that sometimes if they can get guys that can block your guys, you got a problem. And we don't have any sort of board wipe. But the thing is the deck does well enough as it does because it's so fast and it's so aggro. You just got to accept the fact that sometimes you're going to run into a wall and that's just the way it goes. So anyways, I'm going to give it good points for being a fun deck. Lastly, was it interesting? And I'm going to say yes. Why was it interesting? Because we were playing mono red aggro and not a mouse in sight. No stinky mice. So it's like, yes, we did have prowess, which is another kind of overused red ability, but it was on the Spellspear. God, that's hard to say. The Spellspear. That dude had prowess, right? The monks coming out from the cutter. That guy had prowess. Who else had prowess? I mean, that guy didn't. That guy was actually pretty cool. Yeah, that was it. That's the only 2 prowess guys. Yeah, I felt like I had a lot of prowess guys a lot. This guy I think was it double prowess? Yeah, double prowess. And he's not that expensive. It only takes 3 to pop him into his Super Saiyan ability right there. So you have Trample, Ward 2, and double prowess. That guy is Insanosaurus Rex. So, yeah, I remember when he came out back when, I can't even think, what is that symbol there? I don't know, Ravnik, I mean, because it looks like Ankara or whatever that set is. But he was super cool. Prowess is an incredible red ability. I'm glad it's an evergreen ability now. Yeah, this for being mono red aggro and it not being anything like the mono red deck aggro decks out there, it was really cool to play and really cool to see. So I'm going to give it big points for originality in the mono red aggro category. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was this deck fun? Yes. Was this deck interesting? Yes. All right, so that makes this into an A+ deck. And as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck is so choice. I'd highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.